Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to a post-episode 100 world. Our glorious Soviet Republic will continue to prosper in this new world order, as it were. Folks, it's just so wild to be here. Again, I want to thank you all right at the top of this episode for joining me on this epic journey. But just because we've hit a huge milestone does not mean we have an excuse to slow down. Things are going to keep going and developing as they were before. We're going to continue to build up Uprisinggrad and the industrial area around it. We will take some time today to do a bit of a tour and take a look at our glorious nation from a very different perspective, one that we don't always use. I actually got an excellent suggestion in the comments of the previous episode for a very interesting and compelling way to do it. So thank you very much for that. Now I want to mention, as always, folks, if you've been enjoying the series and you want to see it continue, again, the best way to make sure that happens is by leaving a like and a comment down below. Makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, but also I do genuinely read all of the comments. Now, there is, like I said, there's still a lot to get done. One thing I tried to do between sessions is it was suggested that there is a bit of a cheat mode you can unlock to help terraform beyond your borders. I tried doing that, and for some reason the terrain modification was just not working. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to see what's going on there, but if I can actually do that, I think we're all in agreement that that's an acceptable use of the cheat mode, is just to get this river right to the edge of the map so that we can actually start using our ship like we're supposed to be able to again. If not, you let me know, but I think that's one of those areas where it's not really cheating. It's just fixing an issue that shouldn't have been there in the first place. On the topic of issues that shouldn't have been there in the first place, a couple of things. Well, first of all, let's take a look at this situation over here from the helicopter camera. As you can see, we have a bit of a traffic jam here, folks, and it wouldn't be a PartyElite Workers and Resources episode if it wasn't for train problems, right? So we're going to solve that right at the beginning. I realize now why I removed the semaphore over here at the cost of convenience down here, but hey, it's either massive traffic jams that will never end because of a gridlock between trains, or it's slightly slower export-import, and I think I know which one I prefer. Apart from that, folks, there is one other issue that I'd like to address. I apologize about this. Last session, I'd mentioned that I put up some new merchandise that was in honor of our milestone being reached. I was super excited to share it. I'm still super excited to share it. And I was super pumped to see so many of you actually pick stuff up. I saw mugs, hoodies, and stuff being ordered. That was great. Again, just as a reminder, it's at zero profit. I really just want to spread the love, and it felt so good to see so many of you interested in picking it up. Unfortunately, Teespring has a bit of a funny setup with listings, and I completely forgot about it because it makes absolutely no sense. So some of you might have received an email saying that your orders were refunded because the campaign didn't reach its goal. In fact, all of you must have received that, because I saw the orders suddenly disappear. I was gonna say it's like a Thanos snap. Thanos? Never quite know how to say it, but it's not. It was not 50% of the orders. They were all wiped out. Unfortunately. So if you're interested in getting, the swag that you picked out, unfortunately, and again, I apologize for the inconvenience, you're going to have to actually order it again. You should have a refund in your account. You shouldn't have been charged in the first place, actually, because of, again, the way Teespring is set up at first, but it should be all good now. I totally understand if you're not interested in going through the hassle of ordering again, but I really do appreciate honestly, it brought a smile to my face seeing people picking stuff up, because again, that's all I wanted. It's really not about the profit for that or anything. That's why it's at zero. I just want I don't know. It feels great, It's kind of cool. It's cool that we've got this huge Let's Play. Again, I never thought it would happen. Not with a mini Let's Play, right? It was in the title at the beginning. All right, anyway, let's stay back on task over here. I just wanted to get that PSA out there. I'll include the link in the pinned comment below yet again. So if you're interested in picking it up, you can. And thanks to y'all. Wow, words are failing me right now. Thanks to y'all who've been, again, along with me for this ride. Now, on the topic of being along with me for rides, we're going to quickly sort this out and then we're going to actually do a bit of a ride together. We're going to get a bit of a tour going, and again, I'll get into that when the time actually comes. For now, let me just clear out the situation here. Just got to get rid of... for a second, I thought I clicked on cancel railway. Get rid of the semaphore over here. We're actually going to have to tell this train to loop back a little bit. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just get rid of this train. What good has it done us? Just use trucks instead. It's been the biggest problem, I think. But doing that, pulling it back, and getting rid of the semaphore should clear this up. This is why we didn't have the semaphore here for the longest time. But look at the backup we have over here. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, carrying so many goods. And how many passengers have actually... Oh, no. This is what I hate to see. Empty buses means that they've been here for at least, what is it, 2 hours, I think people are willing to travel, to commute for? That's terrible. All right, well, that's the downside of double speeding and not being able to have eyes everywhere. That should sort that out. Apart from that, for what I have planned, I actually need to put down a bit of a road. And I'm going to put down a mud road over here. We might eventually upgrade this to a proper road, but I want to get a mud road down over here. Railway crossing is too close. It's okay. Just got to nudge you over a little bit. There we go. There we go. And I think this will be... Again, this was a suggestion in the comments, and I immediately fell in love with the idea. And we might do this every so often in the future as well, if y'all are interested. I think, again, when I first did this with a... I think it was a bus? Or no, it was a train that was delivering people across the bridge for the first time. Or I guess technically the first time we did it was the trams that took people to Rostinsky. I saw a lot of positive reactions to it, to the concept, and that was great because I really liked doing it. But this time we're doing something a bit more involved, and I'm actually going to show you. We've purchased ourselves a private car, and we will all be taking a ride together to see the city. And it's just, you know, just us with PartyElite in the passenger seat, I suppose. Leading the tour. I guess if I was actually touring with each and every one of you, we'd have a much bigger bus or something taking us. But I feel like the private car makes it a lot more intimate. And I had to pick a car out. I went with the beautiful, you know, kind of classic black car. If for those of you who are interested in knowing which car it is, if I could just go to the vehicle depot again, if I could just find it. There we go. There it is. There it is. Such a big city, I'm starting to lose myself. Such a big nation, I'm starting to lose myself. It is the T613. Anyway, let's go ahead and hit play. We'll let this traffic clear up a little bit, then we'll go on our tour. Money is looking good. We're above 10 million rubles. We are looking into tapping into dollars as well soon, so those of you that have been pointing that out, fear not, it will be coming soon. And unfortunately, this is over 3K now, which is a bit of a problem, but at least unemployment is still, you know, relatively low. It's partly because of all the construction that's going on, right? Let's not forget our massive construction project going on over here that's largely been blocked off over there. And of course, our big construction projects down at Uprisinggrad still that are probably still waiting on a bunch of prefabs because of, you know, or prefab panels, sorry, because of all this mess. This is certainly not helping. All right, let's go ahead and hit play. Let all this clear out. Hopefully that shouldn't take too long. Yeah, looks like we're fine over here. Some of these buses are going to start moving through. You've just arrived, unfortunately. So this is going to stay stuck here until this gets cleared out. It really is unfortunate because it only needs to get up to here. So, I mean, I guess if this train gets through, then this train should be allowed through. But, all right, traffic is resuming. That's good. That's good. Good. People are still flowing through. Looks like our steel mill is still producing more than enough steel. A bit of a backup over here. Well, I think a big part of it is also because we don't have... we had this jam over here not emptying the steel out. Though I might need to get that steel train exporting steel again real soon. Otherwise, we're just sitting on money, right? We're just sitting on money. It's so funny how polar opposite this game feels compared to Planet Zoo sometimes, where in Planet Zoo, if you've been watching along, anytime I unpause, my heart rate just like goes through the roof because there's so many notifications. Whereas with this, it's rather serene hearing the hum of traffic and things like that. It's just like, ah, yes. No constant concern of something blowing up in my face. Though, you know, the trains are constantly blowing up in my face. Where is this steel train? It's not over here. Where are you, buddy? Where are you? That's not the steel train. Oh, this is the would-be steel train. So yeah, let's go ahead and start picking up some steel again. 80%. Let's drop it down to say 70%, and then we head out over here, unload some of the steel. The open storage down over here has more than enough steel, so you know what? We're actually going to not unload here. We're going to load bricks, though. Hold on, are we loading bricks down here? We are not loading bricks down here. Why would we be loading bricks? Oh, that's right. That's not down there. That's up over here. My bad. Hang on a second. No, it's not. I think that was earlier when I was mismanaging this area, so let's go ahead and stop that. That's silly of me. Okay, let's fix that. Let's go ahead and limit the amounts over here, actually. Drop prefab panels, drop wood, and drop boards as well. None of that goes through here. This should help. Yeah, this should help, because we're looking to... We load all the bricks up at Party Power Cargo's train station. Then we go to the open storage and load some up here, and then unload it all up there because we're trying to make some room here. But you know what? I can actually change that. To unload over here. And the reason why I can change that now is because... Yeah, is because what should happen now is because if you're trying to unload over here, but we're at our limit, and then it should leave and export it instead. Yeah, okay, that should do the trick. I should have done that a lot sooner. I hope that solves the problem. I'm recording this really early in the morning. Hopefully that early morning brain isn't showing right now. I'm not a morning person, for the record. For those of you wondering why I mentioned that when it's the case. Super early in the morning, a little fuzzy. I think that's fine, though. That should do the trick. We'll keep an eye out on it. That should actually solve quite a few troubles, hopefully. Nonetheless, we'll come back to that in a moment, folks. Let's go ahead and see our beautiful nation. Again, from a perspective we don't often get. I just thought it'd be a nice way to kind of, sort of start the session. I say, 10 minutes into it. But let's go ahead and take this little tour here with our private vehicle. Again, excellent suggestion in the comments. Do keep them coming. I do read all the comments. It does really impact the Let's Plays and stuff that you see on the channel. Anyway, the first stop in our tour is, of course, going to be one of the, building blocks of our entire nation, which is this coal mine over here. One of the first things we built in our first session, one of the first things we planned in our first session, was to have access to coal so that we could generate our own power. I didn't want to import power. I think I very rarely imported power. And actually, with this tour, I'm hoping to give an idea to anybody who's actually just joining us, and doesn't want to go through the last 100 episodes. So I'm trying to include little notes and history about our glorious nation. So that is our first coal mine that we built. And with it came all of these, well, many of these connections that you saw over our head. And of course, this power plant and this processing plant. So the coal ore was getting processed over here and then immediately conveyor belted over to the power plant over here, which we'll stop by at this power plant for a short inspection, for a short tour. Doesn't have to be too long, but I figured this is, the namesake of this little region of our nation, Party Power. So let's make a little stop over here. That second processing plant came through later when I realized I was not getting enough coal converted out of our coal ore. So we got that second plant back there, and we've had a couple of problems since then, but those issues of supply will very soon be sorted out, I think, as we build more coal processing and mining, at the mountains off in the distance you can see over there. But right now, caught behind this truck over here, and the sun is setting as well. Hopefully the sun will set during the quieter part of our tour. There is a part of our tour which has nearly nothing going on, but that's because, it's on the way to the more rural parts of our beautiful nation. Of our beautiful nation so far. Actually, if we just take a quick moment over here, gonna actually need to get some fuel, because need fuel to drive a car. And fortunately, there's actually a gas station right over here. Many a glorious gas station in our glorious nation. This is another thing that will be sort of making entirely domestic soon, is the production, the acquisition of oil and the production of fuel. And as the sun sets over here, we can take a drive through the quaint streets of Train Rexky, named because of issues that happened at the foundation of this part of the nation. and hopefully those issues are long gone. You can see we've got an intricate network of buses in what feels like a suburbia, honestly, because of the trees. But no, it's got a decently dense population. In fact, we're going to turn around and come through the denser part over here. As you can see, we've got quite a few low rises. I suppose they are low rises, just four or five stories over here. And we do have a relatively busy bus stop serving all of these hundreds of glorious residents of our, again, glorious nation. You're going to hear the word glorious many a time because that is truly the one word that best captures everything you'll be seeing today. Down over here, we've got some, schools, kindergartens, and of course a grocery store as well to keep the people educated and informed and fed and clothed and, connected as well. You can buy, radios and things over here. Gonna take a moment. As you can see, we are a fully stocked nation. Never any issues with supply or demand. It's always smooth sailing. To those of you that don't get that I'm joking or don't realize because you haven't been watching for long enough, know that I'm joking. I am joking. We've had many issues, but we're solving them. Our current issue is a crop shortage, not a food shortage. The food shortage is the result of the crop shortage. So, okay, there is a food shortage as well, but the real problem is the crop shortage. We need to solve that urgently. And I could skip this stop, but I'm actually embracing it right now because it'll allow the sun to rise. I would very much like the sun to rise for the rest of this tour. Let's go ahead and double speed it over here. Oh, there we go. And now we can go ahead and skip this stop. Let's move on over to the next one. Hopefully we're able to loop around. What I might need to do is actually get you leave over here. You see, there's no shortage. We've got plenty of food. There's no shortage. All right, back to the tour. Whoops. Back to the tour. Now that the sun has risen, going to take a moment over here, loop back around and leave. And yeah, this is a rather small community, I would say. This developed significantly later into our playthrough, and we realized that we did not have people close enough to all of the production that takes place over here. This is where all of the fabric and clothes, some of the plastics as well, all get produced. This is where the majority of the food that supplies Veterinkagrad gets produced, as well as the distillery that produces all the alcohol we need for Veterinkagrad as well. Now, we're actually quite fortunate. Our citizens don't often require alcohol. Alcoholism is not a major problem. So we're almost always at a surplus of alcohol. We're taking a trip down this road again because why not take a trip down memory lane, I suppose? Oh, I see what's happened here. I pulled us back in the tour. But you know what? A beautiful thing is worth seeing twice. And so here we are again at this fully stocked grocery store. And you can see the hustle and bustle of the crowd over here. Beautiful statue back there as well. Oh man. Off in the distance, the smokestacks are producing pollution, yes, but of course we've taken care of that. That's why we've got so many trees ensuring that the pollution is stopped before it bothers our people. Pollution is just a byproduct of success, really. Any glorious nation on its way to said glory will have to produce pollution. But we just need to make sure as well that the people don't suffer from it. So here you can see again another busy bus stop. People just waiting for their buses to arrive, always on time. Our public transit, of course, just like our stock of product, is always full. And now I would love to take you around the bend over here to to the more rural parts of our glorious nation. Again, this is really a trip. Oh my God, that was close. This is really a trip down memory lane. Because a lot of the stuff at Trainwrecksky is recently built, relatively speaking. The layout of the tracks are largely recently modified because we had, the name came from somewhere, right? But where we're going to now is actually a lot older than some of the stuff you saw back there. And oh my, this being a mud road, you can really tell the difference in speed when you actually drive on it yourself, eh? Train's definitely, everything's going to overtake us multiple times. That train is probably carrying either livestock or crops from the rural space back to Trainwrecksky, and you can see the tram of workers. Well, that tram's empty, but that's one of the trams that takes workers back and forth from Trainwrecksky and the small community that lives there down to our rural space over here at Farminsky. Let's just take a little nap on this part of the tour here as we drive on over. We'll have to make our way back as well, but this is definitely an integral part of our nation. We couldn't skip this part of the nation in this tour, because how can you not see where the food is made? Kind of a driving force. This was something that I wanted to tackle very early on in the playthrough as well. I wanted to try and become as self-sustaining as possible, as early as possible, and in my mind, electricity, food, alcohol were the keys. Water is not a thing in the game, so water was not something we had to concern ourselves with. But alcohol certainly is, and we definitely had to concern ourselves with that. But yeah, so this was one of the first things we built, and this is actually maybe part of the reason why our trains suffer so often, because I dove into building this complicated train connection. Well, it's simple in hindsight, but at the time it was complicated, I think, for me, before I fully understood the depth with which trains were simulated in this game, which is to say, the way the semaphores work and how signaling works and things like that. So this is the root of a lot of solutions, right? Because this is where all the food is made, or where a lot of the crops are obtained. But it's also a source of a lot of pain that we feel to this day. That rushed track. Now, this is probably the simplest section of track, but it wasn't just Train Rexki to Farminski that we built. We also built the connection to Veterinkagrad, or we prepared for the connection to Veterinkagrad at the time because we wanted to get passengers coming there, or we wanted passengers to go from Veterinkagrad, which is our capital, to Train Rexki, and that was a whole mess. That was part of the reason why we had to redo the trains, redo the tracks there. But that's all talk of the past. Over here you can see we've got these massive fields, multiple agro farms working away, harvesting crop, trying to make up that deficit I was talking about earlier. But across the river you can also see, perhaps if you really squint your eyes, to strain your eyes rather, you can see the fields across the river, but we'll be going there soon as well. But yeah, you can see massive fields. Massive fields, absolutely beautiful actually. The way the fields hug the terrain, kind of the undulation, the ups and downs. Really a fan of how that looks. But now let's make our way back to the old city to take a look at where the people actually live and how they live, because all we've looked at so far really is the industrial sector and the agricultural sector, and the little community just outside of Train Rexki as well. Now, of course, that is one of the ways that people live, but that is, small town living. I want to show you the real heart of urbanism in our beautiful nation. Really quite happy with how it all looks and how it's all been laid out. So let's go ahead and take a little nap as well. I take this as everyone decides to close their eyes for a little break on this tour, because there's a long way to go, and hopefully we are topped up on fuel, but we're going to take that same mud road back, and hopefully the sun won't set on us too soon. Folks, I just want to mention, as always, if you have any feedback, you feel free to let me know. If you would like to see tours like this, rarely, not every 10 episodes or anything, but if you'd like to see tours like this every so often, you let me know. If this has been a painful experience, you let me know, because personally, I think it's fun going down memory lane like this. I think it's absolutely a pleasure to see how all these things have come together and how they function right now from this pseudo first person perspective, if you will. So I enjoy it, but if you don't enjoy it, then that's something we can definitely adjust. But the only way to let me know, of course, is with a comment down below. But we are almost back on regular roads, which means we can slow it down. You can see money, our economy is still doing fantastically. Money continues to flow in. I suspect that's not going to be a problem for a while, which is great. Now, while I do still want to continue building most things entirely by ourselves, I will occasionally be spending money to buy things. What I might do more of is spend money to buy more vehicles at construction yards, so we can get more product delivery happening faster. Now, are we at regular speed? We are indeed. We're just, whoa, trying to kill people over here. Careful. The driver's being a little ridiculous. Who wants to go home for dinner or lunch or breakfast or any of the meals we've skipped? Anyway, we're back over here, as you can see, to the heart of industry. Actually, I want to show you some of the later developments that happened in the industrial sector. We did end up getting ourselves a steel mill, producing our own steel. And of course, to produce our own steel, we had to get our own iron mines as well. Now, we were very fortunate that there was a small pocket of iron ore to be found near Vecherinkagrad. So let me just show you the location over here real quick. First, the steel mill and the mechanical components are all over here. This is the bus stop that serves all of these industries over here, and this is definitely a very important part of the nation as well. In fact, you are taking a look at right now what saved our nation from certain bankruptcy. If it was not for the steel mill and all the steel it produced and the mechanical components that we actually started getting later on, we would probably, well, this nation would perhaps not exist. So we have a lot to be grateful for over here. I'm going to actually go ahead and pull ourselves back a little bit, because I want to make sure that we are getting some sunlight. Hopefully we don't get stuck in a traffic jam over here. Where's our car? Oh no. I lost our car. It's pitch black. Then the car is black. Is that our car? That's our car. Yes. Cool. Keep our eyes on this one. There we go. So yeah, we're hoping for a quick sunrise over here. But yeah, the funny thing over here is that we had the steel mill. We had everything connected and set up properly, but the mechanical components were added, or the mechanical components factory was added after the fact. And I realized that it had this factory connection that it could have with the steel mill to get a direct input of steel. And I was like, you know what, that's going to save us a lot of time. That's going to save us a lot of money. Let's do that. Let's make that connection happen. And we did, but at great cost. We had to adjust all of our conveyor belt connections. We had to make sure that there was enough space for the power lines to come through. It was a huge undertaking. Ultimately, it worked out, but that was my heart was in my throat the whole time we were doing that, because I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. It was a risky move, I would say, because again, it came with a lot of costs associated, not just in like a financial sense, but also in the sense of the time it took to build all that, and the time we were losing, through construction and stuff. So I'm glad it worked out. But yes, that mechanical components factory was a late addition to this area. This, spider web of conveyor belts has been built and rebuilt multiple times to ensure that the roads here worked as smoothly as possible and people could come and go as smoothly as possible while resources were flowing smoothly as well. This was definitely an adventure. A learning adventure, I would say. Learned a lot from all this, and hopefully we've been applying some of that learning, down the line. Anyway, enough loops done over here waiting for the sun to rise. Let's continue making our way over to where the steel mill raw resources come from, where that raw iron ore gets mined and turned into proper iron that can actually be converted into steel. So gonna loop back around over here. You can see this is where cement gets put together as well. We have off in the distance the prefab panel, also a late addition to this area over here. We've been coming back fairly often to ensure no part of our nation stagnates. So you'll see a lot of new construction alongside old construction. And over here you can see one of the first pieces of organized and properly planned infrastructure and construction over here in the one singular iron mine over here, and the battery of iron ore processing plants, many of which unfortunately are not working at full capacity, but with a little bit of help from our other Soviet allies, we import enough iron ore to keep that aggregate storage off in the distance there filled up with iron that can be conveyor belted down over here towards our steel mill, just to make for a efficient or inefficient production chain. Well, hopefully it's efficient. Hopefully it's inefficient production chain as opposed to an inefficient production chain. But here, yes, you can see this is where all the cement gets made, another integral part of our efforts to build everything ourselves. That's actually another thing that we started doing relatively late. Initially, we spent a lot of money importing resources to auto-build everything from housing to all the industry, most of the industry you see here, I would say. But eventually, when money was really low, I realized that the intent of the game is that you're supposed to build everything yourself, or build as much yourself as possible to reduce the impact of those import costs. And so we started getting the cement plant, we got gravel, being processed and everything up over there as well in the industrial sector that we just drove through. And then we started building things ourselves. Now let's go ahead and take this bridge over here, another new addition. This used to be a flat road until it started causing too many issues for our trains. A beautiful brick bridge over here. Just a little bit of class and history there. And let's make our way through the residential sectors of Veterinkagrad. This is the first residential block that was ever built in this city, fully equipped with education and clothing and beer. On this side you can see a cinema as well. A fire station over here, meanwhile, and a hospital as well that we're driving by. You can also see the sort of town center over here that keeps a track of population and its needs and requirements. And over here, we're actually driving past one of our newer blocks. It's not the newest of blocks, but it is one of our newer blocks. And you can see how we've experimented with different ways of having traffic flow, different ways of organizing the people's needs and the way they live. And here as well you can see the latest block currently under construction. Massive projects over here with some large schools and large kindergartens. As more people flock to our nation, we have to ensure that our infrastructure is there to provide for them, obviously. But you can see down over here, this is one of the newer blocks at the old city. Again, another different layout because variety is the spice of life, we believe. And off in the distance there, you can see the ship docked, picking up some brick and steel to take down across the river to the new city, which we'll be taking a look at next. And that same ship is responsible for moving crops around as well. That is perhaps one of the latest additions to the old city, is that naval infrastructure, if you will, the maritime infrastructure, to make sure we're able to move products in bulk across the river where they're needed to build an entire second city, almost entirely using our own resources. Much like the capital and the industrial sector, the old industrial sector, I should say, was built using foreign imports, of course, from our allies. The new city is, I can very proudly say, almost entirely built with our own blood, sweat, and tears. Our own people's hard labor is what we see across the river. Let's go ahead and fuel up a little bit as well as we drive by one of our first planned community centers. We created a hub of sports over here. We've got a gymnasium off in the distance, a tennis court, some football fields as well, and we bring people over by bus if they want to spend some time just enjoying life in this beautiful nation. And again, going down the road over here, or the most recent of construction projects, as you can see, an ode to our people, I would say. Massive monuments, and of course the party headquarters as well. But this tour would not be complete without taking a look at this southern expanse of our beautiful, beautiful old city here, with its radio broadcasting station and its TV broadcasting station, bringing us to bringing the entertainment and information that people need right into their houses, right into their homes, and into their vehicles as they drive from place to place. It was really quite fun getting the broadcasting stations in. Now, the radio station is from about, I feel like, episode 75, or maybe a little bit older than that, and it really did make a big difference in terms of the kinds of things that it lets you do. It lets you really modify the people's wants and needs, and the TV broadcasting station came shortly after that, but these are both very recent additions, relatively speaking, to our nation. And then the stadium as well, an even more recent addition, maybe just 10 episodes ago or so. It seems as though we're stuck over here. Why is that? Why are we stuck over here? Let's make our way over, shall we? The driver seems to have lost his way, perhaps. Interesting. There we go. Off we are. Yeah, taking a look at the maps. It is just 1988. I have to pull out a proper atlas and find the right page and figure out where we are. That's how big the nation is. Now here you can see a closer look at some of the areas that are still under construction. Massive parking lots for the future of the nation. We are taking a look at getting into the production of our own vehicles. We've bought a few from again from our allies, but we really want to produce our own vehicles as well. And as we depart the old city, we say farewell by driving past this beautiful statue, again, an ode to our people. and take a look at that. It is quite the sight. But now, what better way to transition from old to new? Beautiful. And then there's this massive bridge. Now these two bridges, one of them, I believe the train tracks have been built twice over, but these bridges were entirely, if I recall correctly, built by our own people. It took a long time to get them done, but it was absolutely worth it, because now every time we drive by them or we look at them, we can really see how much work has been put into this second city. So the first thing we're going to do is drive by the initial planning of this second city, which was the industrial sector. I felt like it was very important, and again, you can see over here, it's a lot more, in my opinion, it's a lot cleaner. It's clearly a result of lessons learned during our past incursions into planning. There's a lot more empty space as well. There's a lot more breathing room, though there could stand to be more. Now that's the industrial sector, where it took, many years for it to develop from just harvesting, what was it at first? I think it was just, well, actually at first it was just storing materials from Veterinkagrad. Now it's finally started producing its own cement. We get our own wood. That was one of the first things we started producing, is wood. But yeah, now we're becoming a bit more self-sustaining at this city as well. And meanwhile, over here, you can see we're driving by the farms, the old urban space that feeds. These are the farms, and over here you can see the mini barns and the small distilleries that produce bread and alcohol in small batches. You can also see the farms down over here that provide us with livestock over here, and with meat, the resulting meat. All that is used to feed not just Brixtonia over here, which is a quaint little village or town, I suppose. Really love the look of it. The intent over here was to build something a bit more organic, to not terraform the land too much and let the terrain actually determine how we laid down buildings. We did minimal terraforming, but otherwise we let the shape of the terrain determine how the pathing was laid down, how the roads were laid down, and as a result of that, how the buildings were laid down. And this is Brixtonia. Everything is like 90% brick built over here, and you can see we've started implementing playgrounds as well at this stage, and of course, more pubs. Can't live without a pub here or there. In fact, let's take a little pub break, and then continue our journey. We can drink in the car, don't worry. And make our way over to the latest edition, hopefully before the sun sets for one last time on this tour. But you can see a self-sustaining society over here as well. It's got its own fire station. It's got its own source of food, restaurants. We've got small schools and stuff over here. Again, going for that very, very rural, small-town vibe. But as we make our way around the bend over here, we arrive at Uprising Grad, the future of the nation, where all of the young men and women aspire to move to live, where there is opportunities abound, lots of new living spaces being built, lots of new industries being developed as well. We have an entirely new and significantly more complex infrastructure over here as well. The 6-lane highway driving down the heart through downtown past the massive shopping center. And as we arrive at these beautiful mountains over here, we're going to catch a glimpse of the last smokestack we'll be seeing today as the sun sets over here. This provides the power to Uprising Grad, and also actually shares the responsibility of providing power to Veterinkagrad. We have connected our power plants. Power is shared across the board, and where we'll be ending this tour is actually at this cable car station. That is the latest form of transport that has been introduced to our beautiful nation, staying at the forefront of technology. These cable cars take people from this side of the mountain to the other side of the mountain, and perhaps, if you would be so interested, we could take a little trip over the mountain to show you what lies on the other side. Again, as we go up the mountain, we'll have a very beautiful view of the old city and the new city. In fact, really quite a fan of the view from up over here. Look at that. Look at that. Way off in the distance, you can see the old city. Way off in the distance. But here, is development. Here is progress. Here continues the future of our glorious nation. In all of these mines, we shall find coal, eventually iron, and the new industrial sector will help our nation prosper and thrive further. As I say that, we got a notification for a building being on fire, because that is poetry. Won't be a problem. It'll be solved very soon. It won't be a problem at all. Now, that was a long tour. I'll be honest, that tour lasted a lot longer than I expected. I rambled about the history of our nation for a lot longer than I expected. I hope you all enjoyed it, because if you didn't, then you're going to hate this episode. We still have some time yet, though, to get some development work done, and I am really excited to see how things progress. I mean, this building is almost done, finally. We've been waiting for it for so very long, again, mainly because of the prefab panel production. The supply of prefab panels has been a problem for the last little while, but it does look like we are almost over that hump with at least one of these. And again, this can only house, what, 300 people or so? Man, that's barely making a dent. Barely making a dent. Over here, we need to really get started on the housing projects. Over here, maybe we should hold off on the headquarters or something. One thing I definitely should do, though, let's make sure auto build is off. I should definitely upgrade these roads. I want to make sure that we have fancy roads taking people for the opening ceremony. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Another suggestion from the comments, that was. Do I actually... I think I'm fine with not having the T-34 here. Oh, this thing is stuck now, isn't it? This thing is stuck now. Because it doesn't want to take the footpath, and I've changed all of its roads. That's hilarious. That's going to keep looping around. You still have access over here because you're still headed there. 1 worker there. 63 workers there. I might need to build some of this myself, or we can just demolish it and make a mud road escape route over here. I think I might need to. You can't downgrade, unfortunately. So I want to just... all these construction offices, they'll come through. They'll build this stuff quickly enough. I think we can leave it be. A little bit of a bummer that it works that way. But it is what it is, question mark. At least the workers have arrived. Yeah, you're still able to get up there, aren't you? You're going to get stuck there as well, aren't you? Alright, you know what? Go ahead and cancel the road. I don't want to demolish because then we'll get rid of the trees as well. Knowing my luck, it's not going to let me rebuild it the way I had it before. Knowing my luck. Okay, we're good. We're good. I was so sure it was going to fall apart. Let's get all these things out of here. Unfortunately, until the cycling stops, we can actually suspend the construction over here. That's the other option. Should have done that. Should have done that. It's okay. Not the end of the world. Go ahead and get this done again. Hopefully we'll get the stuff built very soon. And I should stop the tour as well. Is this the tour? It is. Yeah, okay. Let's send you back home. Assigned to line the tour. That's how we'll... if we ever want to take that tour again, we can. Go ahead, back to the depot with you. And, sorry, where was I? I was down over here. Right, so hopefully these roads will get done soon. Oh, would you look at that? This statue is done. Wow. That was a lot faster than expected. Very good timing as well, to have that happen in back-to-back episodes. To have that happen in back-to-back episodes is quite nice, actually, I would say. I was worried it would take a lot longer than that. Hopefully doing these roads isn't going to slow us down significantly. But right, I want to get this over with so that we can very quickly turn our attention to some of the housing over here. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and commission all this stuff so we can at least start delivering raw materials. The schools and stuff can wait. Let's go ahead and let's get this housing started. We need to start delivering the materials so at least when the time comes to build it all, it'll be faster. I thought I'd have more time, but I simply do not. I do not have more time. The population living at home with their parents just explodes. People need to stop having babies. Not that I'm going to instigate a policy to make that happen or anything, but certainly a problem. This thing's going to get completed within the year, almost certainly, but it's almost immediately going to get filled up. If we take a look at the 21 pluses living at home, where are we? Look at that, 184, 169. That's Look at that. These two buildings alone have enough. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. Now once this gets done, because I believe these are the buildings that can sustain what, 300 or so people? And we'll have 600 spots. We're close. We're close to overcoming the problem. When we have 600 spots down here, then we'll be, oh no, not even 391. Are you kidding me? How are there 391 21 plus year olds living with their parents? Oh my god. Relentless this game is. I feel like I need to be building these right away as well. But I don't want to pull any resources away from these constructions. This only needs steel and board, so that's okay. Oh, no worries over there. If it needs prefab panels, then I'm not interested in starting it right now. Though the current phase here just needs concrete and gravel. So you know what? Let's go ahead and continue the construction. If you just need concrete and gravel, then we're fine. Hopefully construction offices will get assigned. If not, we can always go in and do that. This is urgent. This is becoming the most urgent problem, which honestly I am surprised by. Didn't realize how much of a how much pressure was on as far as the population boom was concerned. But hey, it's exponential, right? I mean, as it gets better, it also gets worse. If you know what I mean. Like we want people, we want a big population, i.e., as it gets better. But the more people we have, the more people we get, which is an unsustainable population boom, which is it getting worse. This is good. We're getting all these roads built now. Let's go ahead and commission these upgrades as well. Wish I'd realized I could have canceled that before I, went through that song and dance over here, but hey, it is what it is. There we go. This will do the trick. And I got some great suggestions as well for making all these into like one-ways and stuff. You can only assign one way to asphalt roads, which is why I wanted to upgrade this as well before we opened it up, and that way we can actually have this be, exactly what we want it to be. And I do want to build this all with our own people's efforts. I think we can go into double speed though, considering everything we've got going on right now is mainly construction. I believe we have no train issues presently. Right, things are moving, things are flowing. Looks like it. Steel is being consumed one way or another. Right, we're good. Down over here. What's going on with this? What's going on with you? Waiting until steel is loaded. Okay, well, but at the same time, you're not picking any up. Just cancel the unload. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I see what was going on. But you have no bricks to unload. That's so silly. Glad I checked again. Alright, so let's pick up the steel. That'll get dropped off over here. Because we're out of steel and bricks. You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Load bricks as well. We got to bring both down to our spot over here. We've actually consumed, wow, all of the steel in this area has been completely used up. That is insane. You know what? That's actually quite wild. Oh, this is a problem. I see what happened there. Alright, not a problem. We know how to fix this. Where are you headed to? Road 946. There we go. Alright, cool. That shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, wow, okay, I'm definitely glad I checked the situation over here, because this would be a whole different form of stagnation. Now, what's your problem? Alright, we know what your problem is. That would be a serious issue. That would whoa. Definitely glad we checked that. Get all you assigned over here. Hopefully this will get done. Got lots of things assigned to it. Cool. Double speed it? Let's double speed it. Just talking about how prefab panels was kind of the only problem over here, but that's that has swiftly changed. Though to be fair, one shipment of bricks and steel will solve the problem. We have plenty of bricks down over here. And again, we have a distribution office that's helping us take care of how things are moved around over here. What's the problem here? Waiting until unloaded, right? This thing's topped up. That's the problem here. I don't mind this backup so much because these trucks are going kind of like in one direction, really. So that's okay, as long as we're fine over here. Now, cement I should be bringing down here as well, considering we prepare our own cement. There's no reason for us to be buying cement down over here. So let's go ahead and get some cement trucks delivering said cement. Where is our vehicle depot? Up over here? Yes. Buy new vehicle. I believe we are looking for cement tank. There we go. 9.4 tons. A little bit pricier. A lot faster. Sure. Go ahead and get you. And if I can find you, there you are. We'll have you picking up. Actually, pick it up over here. Load cement. Or don't. Oh, right. It's one of those single thing. It's weird. Sometimes it wants you to select it. Sometimes it doesn't. Or maybe it's all been unified now. I've been playing this for so long. It's hard to remember what's new and what's old sometimes. All right, let's pick it up over there and let's drop it off over here. Yes, begin. And that way we can stop importing cement. Well, we'll keep importing it for a little while, see how that how that supplements us down over here. And if it's enough, then we'll cancel the import. If it's not enough, we'll get another vehicle involved in the same movement of cement. Down over here, though, have we stagnated? We might have had to stop a little bit because of the shortage in materials. We have construction going on down over here. I want to assign some of these construction offices. But look at this. Look at that hustle and bustle. So great to see. So great to see. Let's go ahead and make sure that you are working on these as well. I'll want to eventually upgrade the roads here too, but I think that's something that can either wait or be done with our money. Roads is one of those things that I'm a bit more comfortable with. Just outside of our headquarters, that's a special type of road, right? And we are also building a lot of these conveyor belts ourselves, and hopefully that gets done soon. There's so many construction projects going on right now. The thing is, see, we have some unemployment, but I think it's mostly up at Veterinkagrad. People go towards the construction sites that are near them automatically if they're looking for jobs, or they get picked up and dropped off by the buses, right? But a lot of the time the timing can be a little off. I think we don't have enough workers to sustain too many more construction sites. That's my kind of concern, I guess. As you can see, like, we've got 9 people over here, 0 over here. I'd like to see some of these constructions get completed and then see what happens down over here, because these construction sites are picking people up from the same spot. Oh, sorry, these construction offices are picking people up from the same spots for these projects and for these projects. But obviously, the people that would be going to the spot where they get picked up for these projects are able to just walk to these projects. So, you know, kind of doesn't work. Let's go ahead and resume your construction as well. Oh, actually, you know what? No, suspend. Because we need prefab panels over here, so keep that suspended. I misread. At first, I thought it needed steel for this phase, but I didn't realize it's already at the site. On the topic of steel, where is our ship? Alright. Seems like we've brought some steel and bricks over, but I don't know about it being enough. And we're bringing 826 tons of crops over here. Hopefully we can get this to be sustainable soon. Or we'll have to resort to importing again. Okay, okay. Okay. Doing okay, it seems. Or maybe not. 21 tons of crops, that's nowhere near enough. You know what? I might just start importing crops again temporarily. Question is where? Here's probably the best spot to do it. It's a temporary measure. It's a necessary measure. I think we have to do it, otherwise we're never going to get out of this hole that we're in. Unless I build, like, 20 more farms. We just need to get that little injection, that little momentum gain, right? That's all we need. Over here, construction is progressing. Indeed, it is. We're good. The problem's going to be electronic components, so we have access to those as well. We import them, but, we still have access to them locally. We can ship them over and get work done. Alright, good stuff. Good stuff. What's happening up over here? Any progress over here? These, buildings being worked on, these houses being worked on. A little bit. Resources are being delivered. That's good. That's all I need right now is just some progress, because, yeah, this is, Hey, would you look at that? Something must have been completed, or a bunch of people just escaped. There it is. Oh, okay, 500. I keep thinking 300. It's 500 people are able to fit here. So that's good. That's a lot better than I thought it was. And that's why the number dropped. But even then, even with the drop, it's not that significant, the drop. This is almost done. Still need 10 tons of prefab panels, but that should come soon, right? Let's check. That'll be another 500. Oh, man. It's just nice to see these get completed. Absolutely huge. Unobviously entirely intended. You are mechanical components. We have 28 tons of prefab panels over here. Oh, why are we jamming over here now? This train again. That hasn't happened in the longest time. Is it because of these semaphores? It is, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Because those are our latest addition alongside this one. And this needs to go. There we go. And this needs to go as well. I hate the pink dots that just float there. Okay, that takes us back to where we were beforehand, before I tried to solve the problem that didn't really need solving. You are unloading all of your boards over here. Yeah, good stuff. And you are picking up all the prefab panels, hopefully. 42 tons worth. That should be good. It's something. It's something. Prefab panels. We are back. Well, we're not backed up, but we have a lot of prefab panels. It's just a matter of getting them delivered down here in time for them to get picked up. Do we have a truck over here right now? We do. And I like having the forklifts kind of load up the truck. As slow as it might be, brings that extra, again, layer of realism, right? Always like layers of realism in my games. Alright, that mechanical components vehicle is already back. That's wild. The ship is already back as well. Okay, I'll load up 19%. Might actually want to up that. Let's make it 29%. Got all the steel, but the bricks, we need a lot more bricks down here. Why do we need that many bricks? At least we're topped up on steel still. That's good. I'm actually shocked at how many bricks we're using. Where are those bricks being used? Okay, progress down here. Definitely didn't have the foundation the last time we looked down here. Alright, we're good, we're good. Hopefully we're seeing some progress on these. Not quite yet. What do these things need? Steel and mechanical components. Oh, that must have been it. Right, there we go. A little bit of work being done. I think we were, again, lacking in steel, right? Progress continues there. We're good. And let's actually take a look at our situation here. Yeah, I'm sure cement is coming through, just not quickly enough. Just not quickly enough. Oh no, what is this? What's happened here? Oh my god, look at this. Look at this. This is a traffic jam. This is like LA or New York. What is this mess? Why are you stuck here? What's the problem here? Oh, right. Of course. Of course. Okay, well, in the meanwhile, let's go ahead and get a little relief road built over here, I guess. Don't worry, we'll be getting rid of it. So its perfection doesn't matter. Okay. Wow. How long has that been there for? Jeez. I wish those would show up in the notification down here. It's like, oh, there's a vehicle problem. Like, let me know. Let me know. Go ahead and do that as well. There we go. That should help solve some problems, hopefully. Yikes. I mean, that was a huge sham. That's gonna take some time to clear up as well. That I mean, geez, that's probably why all the Zavod's construction wasn't happening. Yup. And the Uprising Grad constructions as well. Oh my god, that's such a huge backup. That's such a huge backup. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We spotted it. We fixed it. We'll be fine. Over here, what's your problem? Semaphores got you stuck. We'll sort that out later. This is almost done. Looks like it's not going to get done this session, unfortunately. Close. No cigar, as they say. Alright, good to see the traffic flowing again. Oh my. There's no overview for, I mean, you can see cars and stuff, I guess, but there's no, like, traffic overlay. I'm sure there's a plan for that, right? Can't have a city building game without a traffic overlay kind of a thing, right? Right? Also, take a look at the statue at night. What a beautiful, beautiful mod. Oh, there's the sun. No time to admire at double speed. Nonetheless, I mean, I feel like we were doing okay, despite a couple of hiccups here and there. Here we go, we got this stuff coming. I mean, the biggest problems we have right now is this. It's a lot of adults living at home. And of course, the food situation, which hopefully we've solved now that we are importing crops again, because now what's going to happen is, for the next little while, we're going to get full shipments of crops being pushed up. And that should make sure that we don't have a food problem or anything. Hopefully. It'll take a couple of those shipments and then we can stop importing crops again. God. We'd solved that problem. We'd stopped importing crops completely. Hopefully by 1990 we will never have to import crops again. Hopefully. Work over here continues. Missing resources, steel. Well, hopefully. I guess it has to be brought up from down here, doesn't it? Well, the ship's here now. The steel already got taken away. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, that's fast. Vultures. They're like vultures over here. Nonetheless, folks, progress does continue. I hope you enjoyed the tour today. If you did or didn't, let me know down below. And again, as a reminder, I apologize about the inconvenience, but if you would like to pick up some of that glorious celebratory merch, the link will be in the pinned comment down below. I apologize for those of you that already went through that song and dance and have to do it again. Just kind of Teespring being funky, I suppose. But folks, again, if you enjoyed the session, you know what to do. Let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. As we hit pause, we're over 11 million rubles, which is absolutely ludicrous. Wild to see where we are, I think. Couldn't have done it without you. On which note, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting this channel on a monthly basis to keep us alive and running smoothly. And a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, до свидания.